Okay, students, so let us continue. All right, so we discussed about S block and P block. Now let us see about D block. Okay, fine. So obviously, see the D block in the modern periodic table is formed as a, so the valence electrons of the elements that are present in D block will enter into D subshell. Okay, that is what we have been discussing till now. A D subshell is present in the shells with n greater than equal to 3. Okay. Now students, this makes sense because your first shell that is there, it has only s orbital. Your second shell that is there, it has only s and p. Your third shell has spd. Your fourth shell has spdf, and fourth shell onwards everyone has spdf. So your d orbital starts from which shell? It starts from the third shell, right? So this n greater than equal to 3 makes sense, right? So n starting from 3 and then 3 onwards, all the shells will have d orbital inside it or d subshell inside it. Okay, fine. And according to the n plus L rule, students all remember the n plus L rule. See, I told you all remember the energy order from lower to higher, okay, from 1s to wherever it is. But if at any place you all get confused, like which one will come first, so you all can use this n plus L rule. Okay, n is obviously principal quantum number, L is azimuthal quantum number. See students, here there are certain points that they have written which you all should know. That is the reason I explained the topics from that fourth chapter first. Okay, fine. So n is principal quantum number, L is azimuthal quantum number. You all add it. Whoever sum is low. Okay, like if you all have to decide between two orbitals, you all have to find this n plus L and you all have to check which one has lower value. Obviously, that will be the one with lower energy, and that you all have to fill first. Okay, fine. If in case any two orbitals are getting the same sum, okay, the sum is equal, n plus L sum is also same, then you'll have to check out of the two which one has lower n value. Okay, so this has already been discussed. The energy of ns orbital is less than that of n minus 1 d orbital. Okay, very simple example that we have been seeing till now, that first 4s fill hota hai, फिर 3d fill hota hai. Yes or no? From 1 to 10. Okay, so your ns, now see students, your ns and n minus 1 they have written, you all might get confused a little bit. Okay, but if you all are getting confused, just simply put a value. Now ns2, put n as 4, so n minus 1 d will become what? It is actually 3d. n minus 1, 4 minus 1, 3d. Okay, so we know this, that pehle 4s fill hota hai, fir 3d fill hota hai. That is what they have written over here in a general format. Okay, so the energy of ns orbital is less than that of n minus 1d. That is the reason ns will be first filled and then n minus 1d will be filled. Okay, that is the reason 4s is filled first and then 3d is filled. Okay, fine. I hope this makes sense. You all can mark this statement and keep. What you all can do is you all can mark from here till here. Okay, you can just mark this and keep. All right, fine. So as a result, the last electron enters a n minus 1 d subshell only after the ns subshell is completely filled. Again, the same statement they have written. There being 5 orbitals in d subshell, 10 electrons. This point you all already know. Just a minute. Someone texted something. Miss, then why d is written first in the periodic table? Why D is written first in the sense, Vaishnavi, I didn't get your question. Like little bit, please elaborate and ask what you're trying to ask. Okay, wait, she sent something. Okay, wait, I'll just go to figure 7.2. Wait, okay? Just a minute, okay, students? We'll just clear out this doubt quickly. Okay, fine, now this is very difficult to, okay. Why? Okay. Vaishnavi, if you could unmute and ask, it would be great. Your question, please ask your question again.
Miss,
Yes.
how can they hold +1 में 3D,
Okay, wait. I
D
think
block में.
so. हाँ, please can you please repeat? I think so you are having some network issue. She meant then why 4S comes before 3D? Lenroy is telling. Is that what you are asking, Vaishnavi? Why 4S comes before 3D? Is that your question? Okay, wait, students. What we'll do is I'll quickly just finish this block topic, and Vaishnavi, later you ask, before the lecture only ask the question, okay? Let me just quickly finish this topic. I'll stop the recording and then we can just sort this out. Alright, fine. Okay, so students, over here in D block, okay, so in D block we know that D subshell has 5 orbitals, okay, so it can hold up to 10 electrons. That is the reason we have 10 columns or 10 groups under D block. Okay, that is what they have written over here. There are 5 orbitals, 10 electrons can be successively accommodated. Okay, fine. Then what is written? Namely, so that is the reason we have 10 groups starting from 3 going till 12 in the D block. Okay, fine, which appears in the center of the modern periodic table. So there's no, we know this. Okay, students, mark this point, very important. They have written the general electronic configuration. Okay, fine. All right. Now say, students, what was the general configuration for group S? It was NS1 to 2. What was for P block? It was NH2, NP1 to 6. What is going to be for your D block? Now see, students, D block, obviously your D orbital is filled after S orbital. Okay, fine. So we will have NS. Okay, that makes sense. We will have NS. We will have N minus 1 D. Yes or no? Because whichever, see, in the fourth period, first 4S is filled, then 3D is filled. Similarly, it is going to happen ahead as well. Like in the fifth period, first 5S will be filled and then 4D will be filled. In the sixth period, first 6S will be filled and then 5D will be filled. You all are understanding? So this N minus 1 pattern is going to follow up throughout down the D block as well. Okay, not only in the fourth period. Okay, so the D goes from 1 to 10. Alright, now students, if you all observe over here this configuration, you all can see they have written NS 0 to 2 and N minus 1, 1 to 10. Okay, now why they have written NS 0 to 2? See, students, whatever S orbital is going to come before D, it will be completely filled. Okay, keep this example in mind. 4S2 and then 3D 1 to 10. Okay, so you all can see 4S is completely filled over here. 4S is completely filled, and you all know, students, 4S2 is possible and 4S1 is also possible. You all remember that chromium and copper example that we discussed. So D orbital, if it is or any orbital, if it is half or fully filled, it is more stable. Yes or no? So in case of chromium, actual configuration was 4S2 and 3D4. But what happens? Expected configuration was 4S2 and 3D4, but what happens in reality is that one electron from 4S will go to that D. So it becomes 4S1 and 3D5. Similarly with copper. So students, for S, there are two possible values, 1 and 2. But why they have written 0 to 2 over here is that as you all move ahead, as you all go for higher elements with more atomic number, so we write S and D and then we'll write the further orbitals. So there is a possibility that a new S orbital is also introduced, right? Yes or no? Like 5S will come into picture and then later on 6S will come. Yes or no? So we don't know if that is going to be filled or not. That we can come to know only if we write the configuration. Okay, so there are chances that a new S orbital will be filled or will not be filled. Okay, that is the reason. That will depend. Now see, to understand that, what you all can do is you all can write the configuration of all the elements in the D block. So you all will see that in the higher elements of the D block, new S orbitals are also introduced. So in that there will be no electrons, or there might be one electron. Okay, one last electron. I hope you all are understanding this. That is the reason, to generalize everything, they have written from 0 to 2. Okay, fine. Students, please let me know if you all understood this, whatever I explained till now.
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine.
Yes, miss.
Okay, good. Now see, some variations in the configuration consequent to the extra stability associated with half filled and fully filled. Remember that Hund's rule. are readily observed. So students, you all can mark this example. Now see, this is the advantage of doing that topic first. This is the reason we did the topic from the structure of atom chapter first, because lot many things you already know. Okay, fine. So this chromium example, see, the expected configuration is 4s2 and 3d4. But in order to achieve half field stability, electron from S will jump to D. So it becomes 4s1 and 3d5 instead of 4s2 and 3d4. Okay, they are actually not written for copper, but this is the scenario happening in copper as well. Okay, fine. So this was D block, students, for us. Now let us see for F block quickly. Okay, in the F block elements, obviously the last electron is filled in the F orbital. That is very obvious. And there are 7 orbitals in F, right? Yes or no? So your F block, okay, so 7 orbitals means your F subshell can hold how many electrons? 14 electrons. That is the reason, students, if you all if you all can just try to recollect that F block. Okay, I'll just show you all the diagram. Okay, so this F block that is there, the lower one, the pinkish purple color, whatever color it is. Okay, if you all see, there are 14 elements, 1, 2, starting from 58 atomic number till 71. There are 14 columns, you all can say. Okay, fine. Because your F block can hold 14 electrons. Okay, so as there are 7 orbitals in F subshell, the general, okay, they have just directly written the general outer configuration. Okay, you can mark this configuration. Okay, please mark this statement and underline it and keep. Okay, fine. So students, you all can see what is the configuration over here. We have NH2, we have N minus 1D, we have N minus 2F. Now, as you all move ahead, and if you all will see configurations of higher elements, you all will observe, see, after 4s2, 3d is filled. It means that d orbitals are 1 less than whatever the main principal quantum number is. Your F orbitals are 2 less. Okay, like they are behind by 2 factors. Now, if lanthanoid series comes in the 6th period, okay, so first 6s2 will be filled, then 5d will be filled, and then 4f will be filled. Okay, this is all because of the energy level, students, starting from lower to higher energy. Like if you all just go back and if you all will see the energy levels, or what we can do is we can look at it right now. I have the PDF open, wait. Okay, just a minute. Where was that energy level topic? Okay, fine. Okay, let us just try to follow this diagram, or instead of the diagram, we can just see over here. See, after 4s, 3d is filled. Okay, and then we go back to 4p, and then you all can see after 5s, 4d is filled. Okay, 5s and then 4d, because d is n minus 1, right? D, the filling of d. Let us see where f has been introduced. Okay, fine. Yeah, you all can see over here 6s, after 6s, 4f is filled, and then 5d is filled. Okay, so whichever period you all are in, if suppose you all are in the 6th period, okay, so 6s will be filled. That is obvious because first s block comes, right? So in the s block 6th period, 6s1, 6s2 will happen. Later on, what is going to happen? There will be n minus 1d filling and n minus 2f filling. You all can see 4f is 2 numbers behind. 4 is 2 behind then 6, right? And 5 is 1 behind then 6. Okay, so this is all because of the energy levels. Okay, I hope it is kind of making sense to you all. Okay, all right. Where did the PDF disappear? Okay, just 1 minute, students. Just a minute, okay? All right, okay. Okay, so we are back to modern periodic table now. So if I look at the configuration, I think so now this configuration kind of makes sense to you all. So first NH2 will be filled, okay, then N minus 1D and then N minus 2. See students, this is general configuration. When you all will actually write the configuration, just now we have seen the energy level, right? So 6S will fill, then 4F will fill, and then 5D. Okay, so this just it's not necessary we are supposed to first fill D and then F. That will depend on what the energy levels are. This they have in general they have written. Okay, fine. That the elements of the F block have their F and D shell filled up. filled up, or at least from we can go from 1 or we can start from 0. So you all can see over here NH2, then N minus D 0 to 1. So now students, it is not necessary if the D block has been started filling yet. Okay, the N minus 1D. Okay, if your the energy level in that we had 6S, and then we have 4F, and then we have 5D. Okay, you all can see this. So first we will fill 6S2, then we will fill 4F. So it will go from 4F1 till 4F14. And then if even more electrons are left, they will enter 5D. So you can see they have written NH2, they have written N minus 2, F1 to 14, but in N minus 1D, they have written 0 to 10. Okay, fine. Alright, they are starting from 0, students. Why? Because we don't know whether we are going to enter FD or not. That will depend upon the atomic number. If the atomic number is very much large, we have to enter D also. And we have to go from D0 till 10 maybe. Okay, fine. I hope you all are understanding this. So if not, if it was only till 4F14, then done. There is no need to enter 5D. That is the reason they have written 0 over here. Okay, starting from 0. Understand that when to write starting from 0 and when to write starting from 1. Okay. The variations as a result of the extra stability, half filled and fully filled. Okay. So this half filled and fully filled concept is applicable here as well. Okay, I think so they have written examples over here. So what you all can do is you all can just mark the example. Okay, students, you all can mark this example. So they have given an element with atomic number 63, and you all can see the last configuration over here is 6s2, 4f7, 5d0. Okay, now here they have directly written the final configuration. Students, what you all can do is you all can just take this as a homework. Take this element atomic number 63, write its entire configuration, like normally how you all write according to the energy level and everything. Observe what you all are getting. Okay, that is your expected configuration, and what they have written over here is the real configuration. You all can see here it is becoming 4f7. Okay, so what I am assuming is this was actually 6s2, 4f6 and 5d1, but then that 1 came into f just to achieve half stability. Now that we'll come to know only when we'll write the actual configuration. So you all just make a note of it somewhere in your notebook. For this element EU with the symbol EU and atomic number 63, write the configuration, and next time we can just get back to this example. Okay, fine. Alright, fine. And in this last point, the F block constitutes of two series, 14 elements. The first is lanthanoid and the second is actinoid. Okay. And the F block is placed separately. So the position you all already know. Okay, fine. Let me just see if there are any elements given so that you can understand. Okay. Alright, or what you all can do is, I told you all to write the configuration for 63, right? So what one homework that you all can take is that, okay, where is 63? 63 is somewhere. Okay, 63 is in the lanthanoid series. Okay, fine. So what you all can do is, students, don't write the entire thing because it is going to be too much. Okay, so students, what you all can do is still 63, 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so these are the first 7 elements. You all can write the configuration for the first 7 elements of the lanthanoid series. Okay, fine. And then the first 7 elements of the actinoid series. Students, why I'm asking you all to write the configuration, so that you all understand, like when you all go back and when you all will read all that S block, D block, students, see, understanding S and P is not difficult. Understanding D and F might become a little difficult. Now, last time you all have written the configuration for D block as well. Okay, you all have written the elements over here from 21 to atomic number 30. So this homework you all have already done. So I'm not giving for D block again. So for next time when we meet, what I want you all to do is write the configuration for first 7 elements of lanthanoid series and first 7 elements of actinoid series. The entire configuration, students. Then go back into your textbook and look at the general configuration. Okay, the general configuration that is written over here, the topic that we are discussing right now, and whatever points I asked you all to mark, the general configuration points. Go and have a look and see if all these elements are satisfying this configuration that is written over here. Okay, this general configuration. Okay, students, please let me know if everyone understood what your homework is for next time.
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay, nothing new I am asking. I am asking you all to write configuration only, but for now for F block. So you all will understand, students, how the filling happens. You all can refer that energy level from your chapter 4 from lower to higher energy. Then come back to this paragraph. You all can try for other elements also. Like for example, if you all are looking at the configuration for P block and if you all are getting little bit confused, take any element from P block and write its configuration and see whether the valence shell is satisfying this general form. Okay, you all can check it on your own. So for others, if you all want to check, it is up to you all, but the F block one, the homework that I've asked, that everyone has to complete, because I'll ask anyone to tell me the configuration. Okay, so everyone has to do it. Students, let us just quickly see, or what you all can do is, okay, what you all can do is, students, one more thing that you all can do, read this problem 7.3. Read this for the next lecture, okay? And if you all have any doubt, we can discuss it out. If you all have understood whatever I explained till now, understanding this problem, see, outer electronic configuration of a few elements are given, okay? They have written the configuration. Explain them and identify the period, group and block in the periodic table. Students, these types of questions are very interesting because I can randomly give you all any element. I'll give you all its atomic number. Now, luckily here in your textbook, they have directly written the configuration as well, but that is not going to happen in exam. In exam, you all only have to write the configuration. So I'll give you any random element, I'll give you its atomic number. You all have to first write down the configuration. You all have to look at the valence shells and you all have to identify which period, which block, which group. That is what this problem is. Okay. Students, I want you all to read this on your own. First read it, try to understand it on your own. Don't worry if you all are not understanding, I'll go through this in the next lecture. Okay, fine. So,
Yes.
okay, just a minute. Just a minute, okay?